Hello, welcome to my brief overview of NosePHP and what this software can do, or what it can be currently do, what I plan to do with it in the future. A quick overview of how to configure your own NosePHP website, and improvements I plan to make on um, on the process of creating your own. So I'll put it to full screen so you can see. Here's the settings configuration file for NosePHP. I'll just increase the font size a little bit so you can read it more easily. So you can change your site title. I mean, obviously in the config.json, that's the default website if you haven't got your own configuration. So the first thing you would do once downloading the code for NodePHP is you would copy this and paste, and you would rename that one to local underscore config.json. So that creates a one that you can mess around with, because the other one you could edit the other one, but it would get overwritten when you upgrade. If you copy a later version of NosePHP from the repository, all the files that are in the repository would get overwritten, so you would lose your config. So local config is a way that we get around that, because that's not in the repository. It's excluded. I've put it in the git ignore, so it never goes into the repository in the first place. So here you can set your own site title. You can set a tagline. You can choose the color scheme of the website. You can choose the layout theme. We call the color themes palettes, and the layout themes are just called themes. There were theme options that we used to have. Some themes support, so that you can have a banner image or a site image and things like that. There are modules that you can support. Currently I'm in the default one. All the modules are loaded, but if you decided that you didn't want to have any markdown related content, you could remove this and it would save the program loading it up. This tells it which modules you want to use in the website. This tells it which page is the landing page when people just land at the blank URL, and this is the menu that appears, so that has links to different kinds of content. And so in this example, we've got one of each of the kinds of content module that NosePHP currently supports. It's a HTML module, which loads some HTML content, a markdown one that loads a markdown file and passes it into HTML. And then there's one which is used for just displaying a text file, and that will not parse it in any way. It will just display the raw text inside a. Well, it depends how you theme it, but the default would be just put it in some kind of pre-tags, so it's pre-formatted text. And here you can see that's loading the same markdown file. So you get you've got two kinds of content with that same file there. You've got the when it's parsed into HTML, and when it's completely raw, what the text file looks like, what it looks like as a text file. So that's one example of what the text module might be used for, is showing the display code or something like that. And then you've got the WordPress content module, and that's slightly more advanced, and it needs some special module settings, as we'll look at later. And we're telling it to just look at a post list of the WordPress site. There's a social menu. Some of the themes support social media links at the bottom. Not all of them do. So got the default NosePHP, you'd probably want to change these. You could, if you don't want them to appear, you just leave them as empty strings. So if you don't have a GitHub that you want to appear on your page, for example, you can just turn that back into an empty string. You probably want to put your own Fediverse link on, although I don't think any of the themes currently support Fediverse yet, so I was just kind of preempting that. And here we have module settings, and so the one we're interested in is WordPress. So this would be your WordPress API, and that will, so far that's a free API on the WordPress.com. So this is a free, I've just set up a free WordPress.com blog on called NosePHP. It says NosePHP at WordPress.com, and this is the API endpoint for that, for free sites on WordPress.com. They all have this kind of layout. I'll show you an example of a hosted one in a minute, and then there's some other settings here about how that will work. This data sources is deprecated. It's not going to be, I think some old modules still, you need to be updated to use the module settings, so I haven't removed it just yet, but there it is. And also you've got here the date format, which is allows you to configure how you want dates displayed on the website. So that's basically all. Very simple settings JSON file. I do plan to build a tool that will create one of these for you, and hopefully that same tool will also be able to add any content that you want to add in terms of HTML, Markdown, and other files that you want to put for the static kind of content modules. But it will also allow you to enter the WordPress stuff. Okay, so what's so special about NosePHP? I'm going to show you the local one. Okay, so this is NosePHP. It loads a single page, an index page, and from then on it just allows you to go through the different content without a page refresh. It just loads it all via the JavaScript. So it's all completely front end in that sense. So why has it got PHP content? Well, because there are going to be situations in which JavaScript's not enabled and you still want the content to load. In this case, the raw Markdown file. I probably need to format that slightly better. I'll show you this one there. So that's without the JavaScript. You see the content, and that allows things like Google to and search engines to see what the content is as well. So that's kind of needed for search engine optimization. But obviously, how is that going to work with something like WordPress? Well, it does, because again, there is a back end for this. But this is all loaded. What we're seeing now is all completely loaded by JavaScript. So if you had PHP disabled, this would still work. All this content would still load, which is a massive thing, I think, because it's getting all this stuff off API. As long as the API was working, the API endpoint was available, it doesn't matter if the NosePHP website doesn't support the PHP. It will still load, and you can look at any of these articles. You can click through and you can read them. They're imported off the WordPress.com website, as I said before, and you can get back to the list. And I'll show you, just to prove that this is there, I'll show you this is the actual WordPress site. Obviously it's a free site, so I've got no theme on it. It's because only the paid WordPress sites have themes. So what I would need to do just to demonstrate this is I'll make a new post. and I'll say, oh, and I'll just increase the font size again so you can read what I'm typing. Demo of a new post. How quickly will this show up on the NosePHP website? And that's it. I'm just going to publish a very silly, quick little post. Publish. I'm not going to put any tags on it. I'll probably delete this in a minute. So I've posted that, I think. Hold on. Yes. View post, yeah. Just click view post to see it. Demo of a new post, so there we go. And I'll go back to this Discord, go back to this NosePHP website, and I'll click WordPress, and there it is, demo of a new post. It loaded right away, and I can click in, see that it's there. So as soon as you post it on WordPress, it's showing up on the NosePHP because it pulls the post through the API. So what if we wanted that's an example of a free site. What about a self-hosted one? Well, just happened to find this one the other day. It's a big maritime services blog which happens to be running on WordPress. So I find it's WordPress endpoint. So for its news, so I can go there, come into my settings file, and I can say module settings, WordPress, and I'll put that in the API, and I'll save, and I'll come back to our WordPress site, and I'll click WordPress, and oh yeah, let's probably have to refresh the site to update the settings. Okay, have I broken it? Okay, yeah, sorry, I should have tested this beforehand, but anyway, I've worked it out. So I was just using the wrong endpoint. I found the right one now. It's this URL here. I will copy that. I will put that in the API slot for WordPress. Paste. Save. It just had that WP/v2 at the end. And now hopefully when I refresh, yeah, here we go. And suddenly my my posts on the WordPress blog are from that foss.com website, and they're all about shipping and things instead of NosePHP. And yeah, so okay, so this is the live website. So I'm just going to show you that now. Loading this. Well, I'm just going to show you this. This obviously the live website. It has the node. It's still using the NosePHP. It's not using the Foss stuff because I'm not going to put those changes live because obviously I want my blog to be my blog. So what I'm going to demonstrate now is sharing one of these links on Facebook. And to do that, I'm going to go into my special NosePHP testing group, and I'm just going to paste this here, and you can see it just pulls up the content, and it pulls up the content of the post. So that's why if it was purely JavaScript and you didn't have the PHP enabled, that feature would not show up. It would just show the favicon and the default loading page before all the content loads, because it wouldn't know what your content was. The back end of PHP is the bit that enables Facebook to recognize what we're looking at, and it allows it to display the right preview for the link that we're showing, in this case the WordPress post number 9. So if I post that, yeah, so it's there. Okay, so So we've posted this. I just want to show you the permalink of this post does actually work. So I'm just going to open that in a new tab. Here we go. It's loading. There it is. Everything works nice and smooth. So there we go. That's NosePHP. I'll share a link to the Discord group, Discord server, and the other links to the the GitHub repository and other things to do with NosePHP down below. Also, just leave in your comments. Let me know what you think. And yeah, I'm always looking for feedback on this project because it's a work in progress and it's a labour of love. And yeah, I would love to see it grow and become useful to people other than myself. So there we go. That's all I have to say on that. Thank you for watching.